I'm high on Bo. Anybody who kind of even watches my channel knows that I have a bias towards the American wrestlers because I'm from America, obviously. So I like to see our guys do the best, you know. And I came up on guys like DC and the college American wrestlers. And
Mhm.
so, you know, Bo is the only guy representing right now at that college Olympic level from the US. We don't have anyone. And so I want Bo to succeed in all avenues because we don't have that. Now, with that being said, I think Bo needs to really start. And you know, this is one fight, right? I'm not talking about everything else he's done in the past. I'm talking about today, this fight. I think Bo needs to take it easy as far as, you know, thinking that he knows it all, that he's got this huge fan base already that's just going to watch him no matter what he does. Like what you did in college and what you're building here in the UFC, they that helped you get here. But don't think that like because of what you did in college, people are always going to watch you fight. It definitely matters about your performances in the octagon. It has nothing to do with how many NCAA titles you have. It matters how you perform in the octagon, and you have performed well. But I'm gonna say that Paul Craig fight was a huge dud, and it was a huge disappointment for me. Let me keep going on this one.
How would you rate his performance 1 out of 10?
Like a four, dude.
Oh wow.
Because I'm like Chael. Like, okay, you did well with Paul, no doubt. And I'm conflicted, but here's what I have to say. I'm gonna try to say this in order, right? With Paul, he's the jiu-jitsu guy, you're the wrestler. Tell me one time Khabib refused to go after another grappler in his career. He's always gonna take you out because he believes he's the best. The fact that Bo didn't do that is just like irks me. It just
Yeah,
irks me.
yeah, no, well, and yeah, no, I get it. I get
It's
it.
like irks me. It's like, dude, we put you together because we thought American wrestler, jiu-jitsu guy, go smash this dude. Or this dude might submit you, but let's see. And the fact that you didn't do that, it definitely irked me.
You didn't try once.
Didn't try once. And then on top of that, like you're gonna box him. And this is where I have the devil's advocate. It's not even a devil's advocate. I truly believe this. We talk about brain damage all the time, right? We talk about the safety of fighters, longevity. What Bo did as far as all those things that I just mentioned goes, good on you. You didn't take very many hits. You didn't take very much damage. This you're gonna go further in your career, right? It's about winning now. The exciting performances mean more later on. But at the same time, man, to walk out of that,
It left a bad taste in your mouth, huh?
it left a bad taste in my mouth. And to walk out of that, right? Because I'm shooting him bail saying, like, look, I'm okay with you just getting the wins and stuff like that and skirting by maybe early on in your career because it's about longevity. Why get into a war now that's going to affect you 5 fights from now, right? Because your head's hurting because you got hit so hard in this fight because you didn't care. But dude, when you go on the mic and shit, you need to have a little bit more self awareness and be like, look, I'm happy with my development. It may not be what fans want to see, and I understand that, and I'm working on that. But I wanted to get more time in the octagon. I'm happy that I got the experience, and I apologize to the fans if that was boring. Just try to side with the fans a little bit. But what Bo does is he goes in and he's like, you know what? If a bunch of drunk idiots think that I didn't do well, then, you know, maybe that's an okay thing. Maybe I'm doing the right thing. So basically all the people who pay hard-earned money in your mind, in your eyes, they're drunk idiots. And regardless if you think that or not, you're allowed to think whatever you want. But to say that publicly to the same people who buy your shit, who are sitting there tuning into your interview, and all you are to them is a drunk idiot, you know, and you had a criticism about his fight, and maybe you weren't drunk with your criticism, but he's gonna think anybody who has something negative to say is a drunk idiot. And it's like, bro, at least have self awareness to say, I just took it easy in this fight because it's about the future. It's not about right now, and be real with it. But instead, you're making it seem like everybody else has the problem. And like I said, I want to finish it how I started it. What you did in college is not enough to make people just tune in no matter what you do here.
I'll say this, kind of my take, what I saw. Bo Nickal, they've been leading him up piece by piece. He's been fighting these kind of low level guys. I wouldn't say they're low level, but they're the guys that aren't even ranked yet, right? This is his first time fighting someone that's been in the rankings. Paul Craig was in the rankings, right?
I don't believe so, but again, he holds a win over the light heavyweight number one
He's a
contender.
bro. He's a veteran. He's a veteran. He's been in this. He's been in wars. He's submitted every single guy. What my initial thought was: A, yes, I expected more out of him. B, there's levels to this shit. This was a great test to see where you're really at. Because if you were gonna put in front of Brohahu, I'm gonna say his name wrong.
Moralo.
You're gonna put him in front of him, I'd be worried.
Well, especially because he didn't show anything against Paul. Maybe if he took down Paul and didn't get submitted, you would say he could take Kaio.
You know what I mean? Like there's these, and Paul Craig's that next tier of fighters you're going to start facing. And if you're going to look like that against Paul Craig, and like I said, he is a veteran. He's been through some wars. He's fought some of the top guys. So it was a good test to see where you're at, but you really didn't show us anything. And it really, you know what I thought the whole fight when I was watching it? You're an edge above Paul Craig, maybe because of your youth, maybe because of your athleticism. And he was timid to take Paul Craig down because he did not want to put himself in a chance to get submitted and lose. And I think he saw right off the bat, okay, I'm winning on the ground here, but he was getting kicked, bro. Paul Craig was throwing some kicks at that fool,
Risking breaking his forearm.
and so like and even I thought to myself, like Paul Craig didn't even try to take him down to submit him
Or pull guard.
right, and that's where I was kind of too. I was like, back of my mind, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist type, but it's like, did Dana just kind of like, hey, bro, don't just keep it standing if you can. We'll pay you more.
Right.
We don't want a chance to see him, lose on that. But I said, how would you rate the fight? Levels. I think that next tier of guys, even like Alex Hernandez, I don't think you want to see Anthony Hernandez. I don't think you want to see him.
Mm-mm.
Brandon Allen, I don't think you want to see him. And don't even start talking about Hamzat.
No, not right now. And he thinks that's insulting. He's like, I don't know why people are saying that.
After that, but I will say this too. On the flip side, I've said this same thing about Patty. And Patty has impressed me more and more the past two fights. And I'm interested to see if Bo Nickal, the next challenge they give him, because he's still not even in the rankings.
He's not.
So he got a win. He edged it out. Dana wasn't happy. You're not happy. A lot of guys are throwing him more criticism than praise. And the first time in his probably career, he's actually facing the first time criticism. It sharpens you a little bit, right? It probably should get under your nerves. It probably should make you go back to the drawing table and be like, all right, fuck, dude. Like, that I'm having a whole different taste in my mouth. Bro, I bet he's like angry. Like, fuck, dude, I got the win and everybody's still criticizing me?
Yeah, because he's not like using that self-awareness to be like, I understand where they could come from. Like, let me give you an example. Aaron Jeffrey, he did the same type of thing a Bo Nickal did in the sense of underperforming, kind of making it boring for the fans to watch. Okay, when I asked him about that, in short, he said, you know what, bro? I'm the same way. When I'm at home watching fights and the guy's hugging a guy up on a cage, I'm like, get off the cage. We don't want to see this shit. I can understand how the fans found it boring. Aaron admitted it. All Bo has to do is admit that what he did was slightly boring and he's going to work on it. But he's turning it into other people's problem. He's calling people drunk idiots. And these are things like, I'm like, Bo, dude, bro, you got to wake up, Bo. Like, I don't know what kind of fan base you think this is. But to be thinking that the whole fan base is drunk idiots and shit, bro.
But look at hindsight's 2020, right? When you're just on the spot, it's hard to like calculate everything you're gonna say.
But this was Monday on Ariel's show.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see he's trying to defend himself, bro, and that's the only way he could find a way to defend himself. And being like, fuck what they think. Like, he has to justify it in his own mind.
But when you're wrong and you defend yourself, regardless of the situation, don't you always look like an asshole? Instead of admitting that you're wrong?
Of course.
And so facts, that is what he's doing. He's trying to skirt his way out of the situation and twist it around so that he's right. And you're just making yourself look like an asshole.
I think you took it more personal than I did because I was more like on the flip side of it where I'm like, that didn't really rub me the wrong way. Where really it was more like it goes to show you that there's going to be a lot more improvement that you're going to need to be done. And I think the UFC kind of got a little bit of a awakening, a reality check. Like, all right, maybe this guy isn't ready for these next guys now.
Right.
I think they're going to slow, like what you talk about a lot of times. Let's slow these guys down a little bit. I think sometimes he's a little too premeditated. He's a little too like,
Because he's the
oh,
one name dropping comms out all the time.
yeah, that we're not even there yet. Like for because he says it all the time. And I do like that he does. He's like, I'm gonna take it one step at a time, 2 fights a year. And the next guy, everybody has all these expectations on me. Now it's almost like he's gonna get a chance to see what it feels like when people start to forget about you.
Well, he's
And
gonna
he's
find that. I don't think he thinks that can happen to him for some odd reason.
but you could public perception is changing as we're talking right now because of that performance. Not only in our eyes, the UFC's eyes.
Right.
Dana was like in front of Trump was there and shit. Like that wasn't the performance they were expecting.
No,
They
not at
were
all.
expecting him to put him out, bring him to the ground. They were expecting a mini Hamzat to step in there.
And then also like that whole little mini golf swing at the end. It's just like, dude, most guys would be shaking their head. Most guys would be like, sorry.
But that's the worst celebration that I've ever seen.
One of the worst ones. And it just shows Bo has been told he's like the cool guy his whole life, it seems. He lacks that self-awareness, bro. I'm telling you.
I like self-awareness too, so I don't know.
Whatever, bro. But I'm saying he needs to kind of find some of that. On the world stage like that, you got to find some of it, You keep acting so a lack of self-awareness is okay, but it's like, bro, when you're like you're going against how people feel, I don't think call that what you want.
Yeah, I mean, but like it's like I'm gonna use Patty Pimblett or Ian Gary and Bo Nickal Network. Those guys talk about self-awareness.
Who?
You know what I mean? Like Patty Pimblett or Ian Gary.
Yeah.
Like Patty's kind of timbered down, right?
Right. Those are perfect examples where they fight back when the fans are going after them instead of like leveling.
Yeah, they started to play the heel a little bit now, right? But now look where they're at.
Or the victim.
Or the victim, exactly. And now look where they're at. Or turn off all my comments.
Right.
Like what kind of bitch move is that? But you public description, I mean, it changes, it sways, it's a pendulum, right? Depending on how the product in there that you put together is analyzed after a victory or a loss, and he's starting to get a reality check of what can happen. Don't get a loss and see what happens. I'd love to hear what you said if he lost, because he barely won, in my opinion. Some people think he crashed. His significant strikes. Yeah, I believe Paul Craig had him.
Yeah, I don't have. I wish I would have had an opinion on if he lost. I was kind of, when I'm watching that shit and you're fighting like that, I'm like, God damn it, dude. That's the only thing I'm really going through my head when I'm watching.
Well, you're disappointed. You expect more, and then you got the after stuff. You got how he reacted to it. And you're like, bro, then this is how you're gonna react.
And this is the thing, right?
Performance.
And this is the thing, because I keep pointing out the drunk idiots, right? And I think it's important. But what other people say like call fans drunk idiots? Fighters do not go after the fans, right?
Just DM'd me. Said I'm never going to Perry Punches Up Network.
Whatever. It's all good. The thing about Bo is that, let me say this though real quick, and then I'll say what I was just about to say. The drunk idiots thing is that when you are getting positive feedback, right, and you're accepting of that from fans, but as soon as fans have something negative to say, now they're drunk idiots. That's why I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out, because you take it when they're not drunk idiots when they praise you. You've been thinking it's all hot and dandy, it's hot shit, people fuck with you, they love your knockouts, and you had nothing to say. But all of a sudden, once people have something negative to say, they're drunk idiots. It's like an oversimplification. Maybe they actually have something that they noticed that they want to see more out of you, such as fucking grappling, which is the whole reason why you got hired.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that. You know what the irony is?
What's the irony?
Is you probably weren't even drinking and my ass was drunk.
Right.
That's the irony. So really, I should be more offended.
Right. It's the educated, right?
You're offended for me.
Facts. I'm offended for everyone.
Did you even drink that night?
No, I didn't. I mean, I had a beer. I had a beer.
See, I was like 6, 7 in by the time his fight was in.
Yeah. No, I was
I
munching on some Chipotle while I was watching it.
That's what's funny.
Right. So, and then with that also,
All of a sudden, I'm offended.
and then, wait, you said you're like Bo won't come on the podcast. I had something, I had like a response to that almost.
No, yeah, he just DM'd me. It says not happening.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say. The thing about Bo too is that he came into this game thinking like he's above it. You know, that's what I'm gonna say. He came into this game
On your shoulder?
not even like from an
Or
arrogance,
entitled?
rich boy perspective.
Like entitled,
Entitled.
privileged.
I'm telling you, I think he's coming to this game thinking he's better than it. Like he thinks that the training regimen isn't there. He thinks that all these things that go on in this game, he knows what's best. And it's like, man, Bo, like I wish you would come into this game and just try to like be more humble and stop trying to like think that like the fans' way of thinking is flawed and your way of thinking is right. Like I don't like that. And then you think that the way of training is flawed and the approach to the game is flawed. I mean, you're welcome to come in here and change things up, but when you come in here saying the whole game is flawed, let's see if you become a world champion before you say that. Because I don't really think you've earned your right to say that MMA is flawed because you won 3 NCAA titles in college. You're not even an Olympic gold medalist. And I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it a buck, dude. If you were an Olympic gold medalist, also, maybe it wouldn't matter what you do in the octagon. Maybe you could have some boring performances because guess what? You're an Olympic gold medalist. But you're not. Yeah. You're a 3-time NCAA champion. And yes, by the way, you're supposed to be a 4-time NCAA champion if you're really the hot shit.
Could he beat Shara?
Oh, yeah.
He could beat Shara.
He could beat Shara.
Because Shara is a lot better on the feet than fucking Paul Craig.
You know, that's a hard one because it's one. You know, we need that. Bo is only going to get strikers from now on.
Number 14, and he just got into the rankings.
Yeah. You know, okay, because you're asking about opponent, the one I want to see is Andre Petrosky. Are you familiar?
Yeah, but he's not in the rankings either, though.
Yeah, but Bo doesn't deserve to rank opponent.
All right. I mean, I'd like to see where he's really at. I mean, but if you're thinking that's the next fight, what about Paulo Costa?
Does he beat him? You know, I'm not going to say he does.
Yeah. Jack Hermanson?
Jack Hermanson is like your favorite type of guy. He's the...
he's a gatekeeper.
He's like an exposer.
Yeah, he's a gatekeeper for sure.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put him past Jack.
Brady. Yeah, he take him into that 3rd round. He may get you.
But like I said, I don't think Bo has earned his way into that. Bo doesn't deserve any of those fights.
Okay.
If he would have grappled Paul and really showed out big time, then yes. But you got that step up. You showed you can't handle it. Back down you go. Andre Petrosky.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him challenge on the ground. And I was disappointed too in Paul Craig. I was like, bro, you didn't take him down. You didn't try it once?
Because you don't. Here's the thing too. You prove nothing by beating a non-striker. You got that matchup so that people could put you further and say, Bo beat Paul Craig, who's a jiu-jitsu ace. He could hang in there with Caio Borralho.
Yeah.
But the fact that he didn't beat him in jiu-jitsu and he outstruck him does not mean he could strike with Caio, does it?
Yeah.
No, not at fucking all, because Caio would box the head off of Paul Craig.
Yeah.
And so by you choosing the easier route, it proves nothing. Like, and good on you. Like I said, you know, I think it's a little flawed because if you ask him, it's like, oh, I chose the smartest approach. But Bo, the smartest approach isn't always, you know, the smartest, easiest path. You know, is that how people navigate their life? The smartest, easiest path? You know, maybe the smartest, but not the easiest path. Sometimes the road that's less traveled is better off for you. And so keep that in mind. Food for thought.
And I think there's a handful of guys that kind of take that same approach that eventually they get exposed. Eventually they do.
By trying to be too smart and navigate everything. You just got to fight. At the end of the day, you got to fight. And that's the thing that DC was that I think Bo Nickal is lacking for sure. I don't think I know, but that I would have liked to see more out of Bo is that DC's a fighter. He's a real fighter. You know, a fighter. Like, you look at what him and Buckley, right? Bo's not a fighter like that. Bo, if you talk shit to him in person, he won't fight you. DC, if you talk shit to him in person, he will punch you in the face right then and there. You know, Joaquin Buckley, he's a fighter. You know, he got in tons of street fights. He used to be like a security guard. He likes to fight. Like some people navigate towards fighting, and some people come into this game trying to be like a know-it-all.
Some people are like, someone say something?
Say less.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Someone say something? Hold
Yeah.
on, hold on. Bam, bam, everything's fucking rumbled out.
Say less. And, you know, I wish we could see more out of that with Bo. Unfortunately, you know, we're going to get what we get from him. But that's my constructive criticism. And Bo says he's open to constructive criticism. I may have been harsh.
Well, I'll
but
say
Bo,
this.
I'm speaking from my heart, and I started off by saying, I want you to be the best. I tune into all your shit. I've been waiting on you. You know, I've been waiting on you, Bo. And I ain't no drunk idiot, and I'm disappointed. But at the same time, I get that longevity, you need that. But do not fucking tell fans that it's their fault they didn't enjoy watching your fight. And that's where I'll leave it.
I would say this. When I watched the Ferguson-Pimblett fight, that's how I felt about Pimblett. Like, bro, you didn't really barely beat him. What are we doing? All this hype?
One of those ones.
And
I kind of, you know, I'll even give Patty credit. I like that one more than the Bo fight. So if you didn't like that one, I dislike the Bo fight even more. But I hear what you're saying, and I kind of agree. But I'm saying the Bo fight was even worse.
And then he beat he beat Bobby Green.
That was good.
That was a good win. That was a good win.
And that proved a lot. That was like, okay, he's got that submission. Like, he's a submission ace.
Right. And I felt like his attitude changed. His temperament changed. His way going in. Because Patty kind of cocky too before all this, bro.
Of course.
You know, like, and then, you know, and that's when I saw that Tony Ferguson fight. I'm like, bro, you cocky, and this is what you just put out on. This is the product you're showing us.
And these guys get that, right? Ian Gary did that with MVP. We did the same thing to him.